Well, Star Queensland for real life turned out to be the real deal here at Club Menangle on Tuesday afternoon, taking out a heat of the New South Wales Challenge for three-year-old colts and girls. A very impressive win. I'm joined by a delighted trainer driver, Trent. Well, Trent, congratulations. That was a very impressive performance.
Yeah, it was. He sort of did it real good at the end. Probably had to wake him up a bit around the last bend, and he sort of had a little bit of he only got down here Sunday night, so he probably dropped down into a heat wave too. So it was pretty warm here today, and even for us Queenslanders, we're not particularly that fond of these 35-degree days. So I think there's a lot of improvement from it.
Yeah, the opening quarter, 27.5, as you worked your way to the lead, then two sectionals that were comfortable, 30.1, 28.2, 26.2 on the way home, and you look to have something in reserve.
Yeah, well, that around that last bend, I probably was a little bit concerned because he normally swells up a bit better. But first look at the track, as soon as we sort of knuckled down a bit up the straight, he can drop some pretty wicked fractions. So he was actually pretty controlled at the end.
Trent, fourth generation, a wonderful family history, the Dawson family. How did it all begin?
Well, started a long time ago, I guess. So there's a lot of us going around, and my parents obviously right into the horse game. My father Jeff and Mum Gail, and all their families are all right into it too. So yeah, we've got quite a deep history.
And your wife Crystal, she's also from a harness racing background.
Yeah, her family is right into it. Her father Brett and her grandfather old Max Towns, the late Max Towns, he passed away in the last year. So old Max was a bit of a legend in his own right around the show circuit and with the trotters, So it's we don't have to go too far for some advice, and sometimes we don't even have to ask for it and we get it.
Well, that's always the case, Trent. We're going to look at the family tree a little bit later, but very interesting story as far as you're concerned. You've had the chance to experience racing in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, when I was a bit younger, I sort of took it in over there. I was in America and Canada, and it was all a good experience. And you grab bits and pieces of everything, and it molds what you become. So they're all good experiences.
Yeah, an invaluable learning curve. What was the most important thing you probably came across to you as far as the Northern Hemisphere was concerned?
Well, I think the most important thing, and it's still the most important thing here, is just to have the horse stock. You get the right horse and you treat it right, and just common sense. It's sometimes it's better than anything more fancy than that.
Trent, you also spent some years with the University of Queensland as the assistant barn manager. Can you explain that?
Yeah, well, I probably if you ask any of the guys that work for me, they probably don't think I did that much work there. But that was spent a decade there, and that was really great. We always wanted to we were always in horses and harness racing, but we wanted to do it right. So we've got our own property, and we're set up. It's a pretty nice place. So that was all part of forming that. So. And I learnt probably more there than I learnt anywhere else. Some of the vets there are, they're world-class surgeons and world-class vets. So, if you can't learn anything there, you can't learn anything anywhere.
Trent, you've got a smile on your face now after the win For Real Life, but there must have been a lot of disappointment surrounding him going slightly amiss when you were heading into the Hayden.
Yeah, early on he had an epiglottic entrapment there. It's sort of getting back 2 months, 2 and a bit months now. So that was disappointing. But I mean, the Hayden. Obviously, good horses won it, and then onto the Eureka. We'll still get our chance, hopefully. So he come back really well from that. So I think we sort of built our bridge pretty quickly, particularly when we won that last the Triad in Queensland. So everything happens for a reason. It's funny Sire's named that, and I had to tell myself that a fair bit. So hopefully we'll make up for it next year.
What an important concept the Hayden is now leading into the Eureka. We saw the outstanding performance by the Tasmanian horse, which was given very little chance, Magician. So it's exciting for the other states to be involved in a $2 million race.
Yeah, well, obviously, the Eureka concept I think is a great concept. And obviously New South Wales Harness Racing Club deserve credit for that. And obviously Queensland getting behind it and buying a slot and they're having the Hayden race. I mean, obviously everyone knows Queensland's sort of going quite ahead, and the administrators there are doing a good job, even though we're sort of hoping for a new track sometime soon. But I'm sure they'll get that sorted out in time, and everything will be smooth sailing.
Have you got the Hayden already on your radar?
Oh well, we've penciled it in, but I don't like looking too far ahead. We're sort of a few things that have gone wrong this year have taught me that you just live 2 steps ahead of where you are, and just take what comes.
The stable was represented by Future Assured, a very solid performer. And apart from Future Assured, Talent to Spare, another outstanding Group 1 performer.
Yeah, we've had some handy horses. Still got them there. I actually we sort of nominated Future Assured for the Inter-Dominion. He raced through the carnival at home and raced credibly, but probably was a little bit disappointed in the end. But yeah, we sort of made some changes, and he's come out since and been really, really good. So I think going forward, like maybe if we get a run in the Inter-Dominion, I think he'll hold his own.
Reports from north of the border, they're very excited about the Inter-Dominion.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We haven't had it for a little while now, so. And yeah, like I said, Queensland, the administrators there are doing a really great job. So yeah, hopefully they make a big thing of it.
Races like the Hayden leading into the Eureka, do you think it's going to create new owners coming into harness racing?
Well, it obviously gives people an opportunity to buy a slot. You don't have to own the horse; you can buy the slot, and that's probably the great concept of it. Someone who, I own my horse, but someone can buy the slot and get to experience that. So. Yeah, like last year, I think the race was supposed to be 100,000 and ended up going for close to 250. So you never know if people get behind that. We could be racing for $500,000 ourselves if the slots started going for big enough. So yeah, I think it's a good concept, and yeah, it's always a good way to bring new people in.
Now let's mention this family involvement: the Dawsons and the McMullins to start with.
Yeah, well, like there's obviously you watch a race in Queensland and there's a McMullen or a Dawson going around nearly every race. So yeah, I think we probably there's a bit of rivalry between everyone. Obviously Nathan up there, he's my cousin, and yeah, he's taken the honours a little bit lately. But yeah, I can't drive as many winners as him, but hopefully I get a few better ones when we're coming around the corner here.
And your two sisters are doing wonderful things.
Yeah, they do a great job. Melissa, she sort of doesn't drive anymore, but she trains a handy little bunch of horses, and Kelly's actually with Shane Graham, and they do a really good job, obviously.
And at the head of the family table, we've got your grandmother Beryl in her 80s, but still very keen and also very watchful of what all the grandchildren do.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Yeah, she's actually had a little bit of ill health the last couple of weeks, but yeah, she takes a bit more to keep her down than what she's going through. So I think she'll bounce back. But yeah, like she's always keen follower, and even though us grandkids, I think we've all been replaced by the great grandkids now that are getting around. So yeah, we're just a little bit of entertainment. I think the great grandkids are actually they're what spurs her on.
It was an interesting concept in early January, the McMullins and the Dawsons, and Beryl was very much a major player.
Yeah, she was there. She got along to the races. It was the John and Beryl Dawson legacy race. Obviously, it was great. My grandfather John, he's not around. He's sort of passed away 20 years ago, and yeah, everyone who sort of knew him knew what a wonderful man he was, and it was good. It's good to honour them both, and have Grandma, obviously Beryl, around to do that.
You caught up with another member of the family here today who was very keen to point out that he was related to you.
Yeah, Robbie, obviously he's my cousin. So my mum Gail and Peter are brother and sister, and likewise with David and obviously Noel's mum's brother too. So. Yeah, well, it's like we step outside of the family tree at home and come down here and just step right into another one. So, yeah, it's quite good. You've always got them to, even though at times we get heated and we get upset with each other on the track, but that's racing. It's a competition. There's good money going around, but we always get over it, and we help each other out when we can.
Well, Peter, once again, congratulations on the performance today. Hopefully we'll be seeing you on a more regular basis here at Club and Angle following that success.
Yeah, well, we'll be back down in a month. Hopefully everything goes right. We're home. We'll take him back and recoup a little bit and come down for the semi-finals. And yeah, I'd love to take some New South Wales money home. Queensland money's good, but it's always better taking New South Wales money, I think.
You do that on a regular basis these days with the state of origin. Don't get too greedy.
Well, that's what we got a little bit of a lead to follow, don't we?